Today, we stand in the shadow of our heartbreaking truth. Our system is failing women facing domestic violence. Despite decades of advocacy, as a woman that been through domestic violence, as a woman that stood for domestic violence, I have seen so many times the system fail women. So despite of decades of advocacy and reform, too many women are still slipping through the cracks. Their cries for help, lost in the sea of bureaucracy, indifference, or disbelief. The consequences are dire, tragically, often fatal. Every statistic we quote represents a real human being. Someone who once had dreams, hopes, and desires to live a life free of fear. But many women are living in fear. That's why many women don't go get restraining orders, okay? That's why many women, when they go to court, they usually lose because of the man. If he's a narcissist, he may put one on the woman before, okay? When a woman is living in fear, and we all know domestic violence women, we are afraid to put a restrainer on our abuser, okay? And even our families are afraid of the abuser as well. So everyone stays silent about it, okay? We have seen this many of times, okay? Yet the reality, even like with people that have family members that stay silent about things that happen to them as children or family. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Things like that. People stay silent because of the fear of what the person might do to them. All right. But as I was saying, every statistics we quote represents a real human being. Someone who once had dreams, hopes, and desires to live life free of fear. Yet the reality, far too many women is a daily struggle for survival within their own homes, where danger lurks, not outside their doors, but within. And even while they're no longer with the partner, still it lurks. This is not just a failure of law enforcement or judicial system alone, but a societal failing that points to deep-seated issues around gender, power, and violence. It calls for an urgent need to reevaluate not only our legal frameworks, but also the social structures and the cultural attitudes that perpetuate domestic violence. We need action. We need change. We need a system that prioritizes the safety and the voices of those at risk above all. It is time to create a society where no woman has to pay for her life no woman has to pay with her life for our collective failure to protect her. And a lot of times we do because we're afraid. We're afraid to say things. But it's time to stand up. Rather, we didn't say nothing before. And you've seen it. Stand up. Let's not wait for another statistic to recognize urgency of this issue. Act now. For every woman who has been let down, act now. For every life lost, act now. And for our shared humanity that demands we do better. Let's stop this domestic violence together. Let's have justice for our survivors. And let's change the system that we live in. And I'm making this video because I think I am going to start a domestic violence group as a domestic violence advocate, and I have been through it many times, and I have been through system failure. I have been through when I was married and I was living with the guy, and the police officers were all his family, and he has a big family, and they were paying the system. I don't want to talk about all that, but they were paying. And not only that, they knew the system. So one time I was in a domestic violence thing, and they told me whoever runs to the courthouse first to file the restraining order would get it. Okay, so he was lying to the cop, manipulating them. Okay, and I'll never forget it. So they told us whoever run down there first will get it, which is crazy. And I had bruises all over my body. And still, yet, The system failed me for years and years and years. This man still stalks. I had other times where the system failed me as a young teen mother. The system failed me over and over and over. They will let him out one day. Now, that one I had a restraining order on him first because nothing ever happened. You know, we never fought, nothing like that. But I was a young teen mom, and, you know, they failed me by letting him out the first day. I mean, like one day, and then the next day was 30 days, and then it just kept building up. But they failed me. They let this man out, and they failed other women. This particular, my first DV was when I was 15, like I said. Well, I was actually younger than that. I was 13, but I was pregnant at 15. That's when I had my first daughter. And I talk about that in my DV stories, if y'all look at it right here in my thing. But yeah, I was failed plenty of times. After he got let out, he did it to another young lady. She has a child. The child is on my wall. The child passed away. God rest my daughter's brother. You know, so he ended up going to jail for years. Okay, years. Like over 20-something years for being with another young minor. And, you know, men do this all the time. They get younger women, they groom them, and then, you know, it's just a mess. And it's not even about the younger women. Older women are going through this daily. And we need to stand up for each other. I feel like we need to come together as a group and share different things that we need to know. Like, there's domestic violence shelters, which I knew about. You know, I told my daughters, my friends, all about it, you know, because a lot of people that I knew went through domestic violence, but they all were afraid to say something. Okay, so that's why the system fails you when you don't report it, because you'll have all prior stuff, and when you go to report it, if you don't have nothing new, they won't take your prior. So we need to educate women on this and let them know once it happened, the first time they show you who they are, believe them. Okay, because you'll have that covert narcissist that sit up in high places, and people would never think that he is abusing anyone because he speaks good, because he articulates himself good, because he comes from a good family. We have a lot of them in our community, the pastors, the preachers, the teachers. And they don't even be that. It just be their family members. So we need to start a group. If y'all want, I think I'm going to start a group on domestic violence. And I want us to share legal advice. What can we do legally if the system failed us? If we can't get a restraining order, and you got proof and you have evidence, right? But what can we do legally? Or where can we get help from with family court, especially if you have children with them? Or what can we do together as women to help each other, or to share our testimonies, even if it's just to help one another and say, listen, I've been through this too. It's okay. It's healing on the other side. Okay? Love, peace, and light. I'm going to start the group. Let me know if anyone wants to be a part of this group, and I'll definitely add y'all in. Love, peace, and light. 𝑽𝑰𝑶𝑳𝑬𝑵.